All right. Pretty big gap up this morning. Like 50 points. Couldn't hold that level. Went through, coming straight back up. Testing the underside here. I actually didn't even check that liquidity pocket. Our hourly chart here did break out of our channel pretty clean. Broke above that level that we had marked from days ago. That was super important. Not hugely, but it has got above it, which is pretty important. Didn't reject like aggressively at all. We're kind of flagging up here. Put in a two-legged pullback now. Second leg down is trying to close bullish. That would be pretty big. Stage one of the reversal for me on the daily chart is pretty much already done now. Yep. That little test below that inside candle, reverse, we're coming straight back up. Especially if we close today relatively high, but yeah. I mean, realistically, we absolutely could get a test down. Test this little cove area. Prefer it to test higher than the full extreme, that's for sure. Be much more bullish that way, but looks pretty good, all in all. We're opening with a 50-point gap. Like extremely bullish price action overnight, just like wild uptrend. After price got above that level, was just like, all right, we going. We hit a major like inflection point. There would have been some profit taking and stuff there, so it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. If we can hold one of these like, well, more high areas, that would be even stronger looking. Don't have any economic releases this morning that I'm interested in, I don't believe. I don't believe so. No, I do not. Not until after I'm done, so. So we're big chilling as far as that goes. So we'll see how we go here. If we get, you know, really strong bullish pressure right at the open, we could get a gap and go situation. Definitely primed for it. The market is very bullish. Big gap. Daily reversal kind of confirmed. Could get it. We'll see. A gap fill is a big move down, so I don't know if we'll make it that far or not. We'll see. Ooh, it only tested above the high by 1 tick so far. Don't like to see that. There we go, another 1 or 2. Yes, okay. The hourly chart looking really strong. Two-legged pullback looking hella strong right now. Didn't make it like anywhere. Looks like we want to test above here first into this void area and maybe go up over the wick. So there's our first area. See if we react in here. Looks like it wants to test above the wick. Definitely gap and go so far. As long as we don't reject quickly over the top of this wick. We wouldn't want to see that for continuation to the upside anyway. Yep, there it is. Quick test above. Now does it get rejected quickly? Morning, man. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you. My wife and I went into the city on the weekend for do some Christmas shopping, and I did not feel so well Sunday, and then it definitely carried over into yesterday. Did not feel well yesterday at all. Definitely, like, you know, somewhat of a rejection so far. See if we can get back up there on a retest. Ooh. Okay. We made it through our very important level, and we held the retest of the breakout. Come on, line. Come on, line. There, that works. Come back, testing the breakout. See if we can hold. Not gonna want to see a big pullback here. Would rather see it hold basically what we gained here. It's not as nice looking, that's for sure. Oh. Still valid, but we did go one tick below that sell-off candle, which would initiate some shorts. We'll see if it squeezes them or if it actually does start to sell back down. Well, coming back, testing this swing. Doesn't look as good anymore. Gap and go not really playing out like it should have. This is too much bearish pressure so far, too quickly. We may be in for more of a pullback. Hasn't rejected as quick as I anticipated after that. Definitely some longs trying to hold above this level, but visually right now it looks like we tried to break out twice and it didn't. It's closing back in again, potentially. I guess 10 seconds left on this candle. Coiling in here though. Both people are there. Oh, we're trying again. It didn't lose the level. Yeah, it looks good. Resting limit order short above these areas here. Yeah. See if buys hold it up again. Interesting price action here this early in the session. It's hung around this level now for a lot longer than I expected. We're trying. New high. A little bit of hesitation. Now we have pushed a high. Maybe sellers will back off. We achieved that level. Really, at this point, the next spot for us to go is, I mean, to test this one up here, which is my purple line, the other day, the next daily candle. About 10 points away, 9 points away. That is the next spot. Definitely a pretty clean breakout now on the hourly. Got that small two-legged pullback. Boom. Very aggressive. Nice inside candle breakout right there. For a pullback, I could see a entry possibly below this. Lots of breakout stops there. That'd be the first area. Next area would be all the way back here. Almost to that daily high. The breakout trade did give scalpers profit though. So scalpers in theory aren't trapped, they're probably out of this trade. So even if we do pull back to the stop out area, it shouldn't be crazy if we even get that far. Looks like it wants to just go, yep. Feels like we want to get above this daily high. Like that's really where we want to test. I imagine we'll get some profit taking then. We break into liquidity. We'll see. I'd be interested in like a mean reversion trade from above this purple line if it sets up correctly. think we're testing above one of the, yeah, we're above one of the daily candles, but not the other one. The other one's the one I have marked. Definitely some selling pressure up here. There it is. I don't think I have it marked wrong. Yeah, 69.75. Yeah. So there's a little quick test above it. We did make it there, pretty much right off the open. From any longs below, that would be my major target right there. Still lots of buys coming in. Strong market. An inside candle forming after we had a wick on the top. Another inside candle so far. We're kind of flagging up here. Another inside candle. Closed at its high side, but I know we haven't touched the moving average yet this session, so that will be a opportunity if we give a good pattern off that. I definitely will be looking to play that opportunity. We got a bunch of insides here. We're trying to break above here now. Let's see if it actually does. A little bit so far. Sorry for the sniffles. Okay, okay. Still going. Dang. Real bullish. Very bullish. I mean, price action wise and levels. What else do we have now? We broke above that other level. There's nothing left now until we get to this one for me. We broke above it now with enough that I mean, we could come back and test it now because we're gaining it. If we close up here above it, 1 minute on this candle, it's going to close. A retest of down there is possible to confirm that we hold our breakout, but it definitely looks like this market's trying to go now, come up and test these levels. Got our breakout level down here and off this guy. But yeah, like this range up here. Huge one-time push. Nice volume. Everything looks good for what happened. It all makes sense for how I read it anyway. I'm glad I didn't get caught up trying to trade any of these like start of what I thought might be reversals, but nothing really looked and like I wanted it to look up to short off of, and I should have been trying to get long, but I mean in my head I was waiting for an opportunity to do that as well, but there was nothing that I really could have gotten long off of unless I were to be like very, very aggressive with it. Buyout over some highs type thing, or breakout over some highs, but yeah, would have been about it for me. And I don't tend to normally do that. So we chilling. This surprised me the way that this formed, that's for sure. Been surprised a few times now today. Tried some Christmas lo-fi. Feeling festive. No, I take it back already. I take it back. I'm sorry. YouTube. I can't find the playlist I was listening to regularly. It's our first looking red candle so far. It's a test of this high that we broke out of. So that was our first candle to close red this morning. Inside, inside. To close above. Looks like the high one might work here. Was really hoping for a 2-leg into the moving average. Might still get it. Definitely though, we accumulated here with these couple inside candles. Market goes into breakout mode and it went to the upside. So far. And we got extension. As much as it looks like it's trying to be a failed breakout, the 5-minute chart just doesn't look right for me to short it. Just doesn't. It does not. That was a good high one entry. Happened right above here. Got the inside. Market was extremely bullish too. I guess I was a little bit too conservative, looking for the 2 legs back for sure. It's huge demand happening, so makes sense. What a push. What a push. Wow. That was the only trade signal so far for me, technically. I didn't take it because I was just being too conservative. I was looking for the 2-legged one and I didn't get it. At least I didn't take the mean reversion. It didn't actually fire my entry, but it's tried to tease it. I knew it didn't quite look right. So patience. For 45 minutes now, the 5-minute chart actually has not made a single lower low candle. That's a strong one-time push. It's definitely not the kind of break you'd want to see on that high one. Didn't want to take this one though because I'm struggling to take the ones that are, it's going to end up being a breakout above. Like this entry for the high one, it was actually a pullback, whereas this entry with that many candles in a row, I was basically buying the breakout. Struggled to do that. I don't have as much success. It's better if I get it off of a pullback. Not the greatest top for longs for that trade setup. Barely broke above, closed as a doji, selling right back to the low. I definitely know there's longs trapped right now. Big order at 85. This thing starts to break down below this swing point. Could be a quick move back, get our first touch of the moving average. If this thing closes up top, this is going to close as a hanging man. But actually, if we get one more test of the high here, we might get our mean reversion set up. Kind of. Like to see a test above it, and if we get a failure signal, could be a decent mean reversion set up there. I'd like to see a poke above it. We failed to break the low so far. This swing low right here locally. Okay, we got our one tick. We close back in. That looks pretty good. All right, let's get in. Gave a cheaper entry. We got our one tick poke, our rejection back down in. Let's see if we can get a pullback. We are kind of stepping in front of a pretty strong moving train. That is, you know, definitely happening. But the signal's there. Had a good spot, so definitely worth the risk in my opinion. Gonna want to see it start to reject pretty much right now though. Otherwise it's gonna tell me that I'm wrong. Whew. Looks like I am wrong. Tested one tick again. Did my one tick poke save us? Trying to reject a second time. See a break of the low. That's the premise behind this trade. It's a test of the low right there. See if I get filled. Nice. Was teasing one tick below, so don't want to hold. That was good. My extra one tick of room. That's why I always do two ticks. That gave me one extra tick of one more one tick poke. But now that we broke, often now we'll do a retest. And then try to go lower. So I would get in again if I got the right price action on a retest, but I am interested in potentially a long off this moving average. That's why I didn't want to hold past the moving average. Hey, thanks, man. Waited. It's funny. It's kind of silly, but it feels almost weird to like watch this huge move happen, right? And me not get anything out of it. And then take like the opposite position at like a top, you know? Like I'd really like to be able to have something that allows me to get some meat out of this push, really, right? Like that would be, I never got, it was so aggressive that I didn't get a signal till here, and I was too conservative looking for a better signal. But trade setup worked nicely. Just gonna retest. This is the first, gonna be the first touch of this moving average, which is pretty big for me. It's also the first pullback on the 5-minute chart to actually happen. The first candle to make a low all morning. So I feel like there should be people trying to get in to the long side. I don't want to get in yet. I'd like to see it do one more leg, but that might bite me the same as before. I'm not sure. This is a little bit of a reversal pattern, so it makes sense to get 2 legs out of it. It's the first candle now to actually go above the high a little bit. 82.50, 82.75. Critical time right now for me to be in front of the screen, and I have to go pee so bad. The coffee's kicking my ass. I'll be right back. All right. Whew. All right, so it looks like we are going to try to do the second leg. Let's see. Okay, confirmed. Second leg confirmed. Now, if I get proper price action to engage along, I will. The second leg now of the actual reversal trade that I took. Damn. Definitely did find some bids, that's for sure. Right back up in. Woo. Didn't give me a trigger, like a signal trigger system, that's for sure on that one. Quick move. Shoot. Part of me wants to just FOMO and buy long, like right now, especially if it touched this moving average, but it's just not normally how the trade's supposed to work. So I just can't, I can't for discipline practice. I can't do it. Didn't happen the way I wanted to see, so I can't do it. Did give like a very strong reaction, like limit ordering right now, just it makes sense. But technically this is just an inside candle. It didn't form the way I exactly wanted to see, so shouldn't do it. Does look like it looks good to me though. The 5-minute chart is somewhat questionable, I guess, because it did try to go again and reversed, so maybe it does come back and test the previous range. I guess it almost did right here. We almost made it to this top, but should be major demand in this market, I feel, right? If I would have limit ordered into this trade right here, I would be wanting this to pretty much go like right now. It's hovered here for a long time. Definitely longer than I would have expected it to off the initial reaction. needs to gain this level. It needs to break above 83 as like the key component here. It's the first candle to make a high. Oh, red to green move. Broke above 83. Everything's kind of looking like it's supposed to now. Be looking for extension. Be looking for a test above 85. I wanted to FOMO there so bad. I knew I wanted the two-legged pullback to the moving average. The reaction was so quick that the way that I would do that trigger system for that trade just wasn't really gonna work with that setup. The only way for me to accept that was to limit order the pullback, which it did happen and did work, but I don't have, like, I know that in my head and I'm saying that out loud, but as far as my actual written down strategy that I'm trying to stick to for discipline practice, that is not how I would do it. So I haven't adjusted for those things yet. I'm just documenting them so that during the reviews I can make adjustments down the road. I'm actually in the middle. Yesterday afternoon, I spent most of the day doing my review for the last 2 months. I'm about halfway through. Today I'm going to try to finish it. My goal for that review too is to not really change a lot, but to maybe tweak 1 or 2 small things about the way that I'm doing things, because I have noticed a few reoccurring themes. I need to define, one thing I definitely noticed was I need to define my management of the trade when it's on better, so I can take the same objective approach to exiting the trade every time for each system. That way I have a chance of actually maximizing the profit out of a trade. There is a lot of days though that I had multiple setups that all worked, and I could have had nice multiple winning trades in one session, but there's never a session where I actually do that, ever. That's like an emotional stubbornness of myself. Like we talked about the other day, the emotion of fear is stronger than greed. That's good advice. Yes. Don't tweak it for the exception. Tweak it if it helps it almost all the time. It's good. It's good. Good wording. So, I mean, we've confirmed the break above 83, but then we really started to struggle at the same high. Now, I do think we should get a test above 85. But the longer that we go sideways up here, I want to say that it's more equal. There's equal trading, so it's turning more into a range. 5 minutes still does look like just a little pullback relative to the move, especially if this trade breaks out with any kind of like confidence. This was leg one. Ooh, this was not leg one. I don't think we put in a reversal through here to reset. Not really. It's trying to just hold this level that we broke above, which makes sense. See if we get our 85.25 test right here. It is kind of crazy though, like one thing I did notice big time in what I've got done in the review so far is that this trade right here, when there's a day where the market is aggressively trending in a direction, that first time that market comes back to that moving average, that is a like damn good trade. If you get the type of price action you're looking for off that moving average, it is like very, very, very high probability for extension. And often much further than extension. I wrote down in big letters all over the strategy page, like this is like AAA if this happens with this condition. Because I noticed that I get into that trade and I would take it out so quick on a profit and it would go so far so often. I need to try to let that specific setup go longer for me. Which is kind of what I was hoping for to happen here. But at the same time, this happened after a reversal, not just a pullback. So slightly different condition. And I didn't get the signal that I wanted to see either. It's going to be very important for this market to not fail this breakout. Otherwise, I think we'll see much lower prices. And we'd have kind of like a W top, which would be another really good reversal signal, like mean reversion trade from up here, if it happened that way. There we go. That's what you'd want to see for a breakout for sure. None of this 1 tick, 2 tick stuff. Good little slide. That's what we'd want to see to keep holding the trade, that if we would have taken a moving average touch trade. Let's see if it comes back and retests its breakout before it goes. Ooh, could be read as exhaustion, and then inside this candle needs to grow past. I would not want to see this tick and then reverse. That would be real bad. Real bad for longs anyway. It'd be great to get in a mean reversion trade, but so that's a bigger candle off that push than normal. Got an inside. Don't want to see this one tick poke and reverse. Okay, it looks okay. Looks good for continuation. So we're always long from there. First pullback. So on this trade setup, when you get two-legged move down to the moving average for the first time, first touch of the day, you want to trail the stops under swing points until it either hits your actual target you're looking for a measured move, or it tags you out on a pullback. So stop would be in profit so far, and I'd be watching for any kind of negative price action to ditch the trade on, which we haven't got so far. So I'd be still trying to let it go to a measured move target, which is like a little bit overwhelming today. I don't know that it will actually do that. That was such a drastic move. 4680. Yeah, so it was like 40 points basically. Do I think we'll go 40 points from pullback level? It'd be up here at 20. It's a big move. It's a real big move. I don't know about that. Low volume area. We're gonna extend here again. Showed a little bit of weakness through here. Double topping so far. Pretty big engulfing bear candle off a double top like that. That would have one tick poked before it did that. I would have been in this trade right now. We had some weakness through here. Tried one more time. It actually didn't even break, and then we got pretty strong sell. Stepped in again. Bought it right up though. We're gonna finally break or tick poke. There it goes. Did hold. Good breakout strength again. As I say that, it comes right back to the breakout level, but it didn't one tick poke or anything. I mean, I guess it kind of lines up with some of these levels through here, but looking more up here, the market's kind of for me in no man's land. We broke above key areas. The next one's here. Low 4700s. Came right back down in pretty quick. I definitely didn't like the breakout. Kind of closed as like a shooting star on the 5 minute after the doji. Not the greatest. 5-minute chart still actually hasn't came to its moving average, touched its moving average all day. I'll be honest, there's really nothing I want to do with this price action. It's kind of just, I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm stalking X trade if it happens. It's really not a opportunity for me currently, I guess. I'll be patient. I mean, this swing pushed this high. It's retesting it. Did have a little bit of, you know, what looks to be more like sell pressure up there, but it didn't even break the low of the 5-minute candle yet, so the breakout candle did reject and close all the way back down in lower than the breakout level. That is pretty key for a failure, but it broke out a long ways. Like it went like 2 points, 2.5 points before it rejected. So visually, it's not normally like how I would see it to trade it. So not really a trade setup for me still. It's gonna go. There it is. Yep. Knew the reversal setup didn't look right, so glad I didn't take it. Okay, so we've broken in here. Oh, the chart's not loading back that far. I think those levels were small levels from before. I'm not sure where those lines actually came from. Might just be leftovers from a long time ago. Definitely not wanting to see a 2-bar like that on a break like that. We knew that there was some weakness in the market here. Got a little bit higher. We did close above it and reject immediately. The next candle definitely tried. "45 seconds left in this 5-minute. If this market pulled back and triggered that 2-legged pullback, this 5-minute candle would then be closing as like another large tail at top, small body. We'll see how it closes here. This could be closed pretty high. Nice, that's not bad. Good trading. Very nice. Technically, for me so far today, I've had 2 setups. These 2. This one was a miss because I was just too conservative. Didn't really think enough about how like aggressive the market was. Should have taken the high one. Did take this signal, and then this one wasn't really what I wanted to see. I mean, it kind of was, but not exactly. So there was nothing that really triggered through there for me. Was wanting it, but not quite. Yeah, starting off in the red and then working back for sure is, yeah. That's good though. One stop and 3 wins. And you said all your trades were longs. I mean, that's good. You're on the right side of the market. That's for that's for sure. Unlike me over here, friggin', I made money in a reversal trade in a crazy aggressive market, but I didn't make any money in like the actual move of the market. Oh well. It's the way of the road. Yeah, that's fair. Like your entry was too late type thing. So your stop. Do you use like a standard like value stop, like 4 points every time, or do you put your stop always under like an invalidation point? Like a swing point you're trying to use or something like that? One more push up above. Then we have an inside doji at the top. Could be last push exhaustion bar after we had some clear selling pressure here. Ooh. Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that. Again, same thing. I would have rathered it have checked above first and then done that, but she might be. Pullback, slow down time. That was we knew there was sellers up here. We got one more push and it was kind of like maybe an exhaustion push. It's bigger than the last few candles. The doji at the top inside closed like that. Hella strong weakness. If that would have went up and tested just above and then went and sold below that doji, that's my inside reversal setup right there. Okay, yeah, that makes, I get what you're saying. Yep. These are all one-time candles, never making a low, so really our ultimate test areas are going to be this high and then probably through this low, these two areas. Well, it was a good read. We kind of were on the right theory up there. Not quite the exact ideal setup I wanted to see before it did that, but we kind of anticipated that was about to happen. Once that doji bar closed at the top inside like that, it was kind of confirmed that exhaustion was an exhaustion push, especially after it happened after this candle. It was yep. Coming back, we're gonna test the top, that 5-minute range that we broke out of. $12.14. More than likely, we may finally get our pull back to the moving average. We get some people exiting their positions before the London close type thing. It's our first area of expected profit taking for any short from above. You got a 1-tick poke underneath this level. right, so we're testing the first level. Makes sense. So that's first entry short, right off the moving average. Definitely getting congested here. First entry did trigger. If we can do one more little pop and rejection, that'd be a great short. Might just go off of the low one opportunity, first attempt. Not really what I was looking for, but it could work again, like the low one. The one opportunity really strives in that aggressive move. First pullback after that aggressive move, which, I mean, I guess relative to the pullbacks we've been having, yeah, that was more aggressive than the previous ones. It's the first one to lose the moving average and stuff. The prerequisite of 5 candles in a row were there, but then it happened here, 5 candles in a row, and then we had our pullback, one extension. So I was kind of not really ready to apply that same thing there. Does look like it wants to go off of the low one though. I'm not going to chase it though. Expecting that moving average after it lost it. We come down and break below, then our next spot is probably going to be the moving average, which will line up with this swing low relatively, somewhere around this area. It would be a very low risk, high reward trade entry. I was really hoping that we were going to do 2 attempts, but might have been too much demand the opposite way. A lot of people trying to get out of their longs on that first pop, right into that moving average and stuff. I mean, it makes sense. The urgency was there after that quick sell-off. Late longs to the party would have been wanting to get out. Getting hungry. Kind of reacting off that double bottom, coming back up, test the entry. These guys up here. Justice Cove. There's the retest. Oh, ooh. Quick flicker sell there. Holy. That was a big sell. Don't really know what to think about that. I mean, we've got a sell-off and now we've got some inside candles. So we're flagging down here so far. Ooh, sellers, they keep stepping in here quick, like big, like a market smash real quick. Get out of the trade, boys, quick. So we've got a dip and then we've got double inside candle on the 5-minute chart. We are definitely in breakout mode. Oh, there's a little check below. Only by 1 tick so far. We keep getting that market smash from up here now multiple times. Only achieving 1 tick below that flag so far. This closes up and we start to go the other way. That's a failed breakout. One tick poke so far. Rejection right back up into the middle. We are in a strong uptrend. Failed bear flag, maybe. Hasn't failed yet, but trying again. I will say that even if I would have taken that low one opportunity, I would have tagged me out of break even multiple times now. I definitely would not have been holding it through this accumulation, this flag. I would have wanted it to have gone like on this push. Interesting price action for sure. Getting mixed signals. Not really super like convinced either way. We know that we had a spike back down. We are in a flagging situation down here, basically retesting above these highs. We now have done a 1 tick poke and now more inside candles. Not really the greatest. A pretty tight little range here with not a lot of conviction either way. Longs were definitely very much in control for most of the day, all of the day. We do have, like I said, a potential failed breakout happening to the downside here. Potential. I think this gives me a sec to step up. I'll be right back. Oh, failed breakout actually confirmed. Trying. We did break back up on the other side of the flag now. Off of a 1 tick poke. It looks like a failed break to me. But at the same time, that is kind of a nasty trading range, which we've now checked both sides of in this last 5-minute candle. Could also look at it that way. But I'd like to read it as bear flag, 1 tick poke below, failure, went to the other side of the flag. Because we are in a very long dominated market. Kind of what I'm thinking. Didn't barely poke above and fail. It did come above. So it's created enough room now for us to potentially pull back and retest the tops as a option. Back testing the top, seems to be holding. I'm trying to extend higher. I know we're moving into the slower part of the day right now, and I mean, it's not like I'm gonna take this on the 5-minute chart and play this failed breakout. I'm just kind of using it as context to potentially find a trade on the 1-minute chart, understanding that I think price has reversed and we're trying to go back up. But at the same time, realistically, we came down, we had some inside candles, we tried to go. This is really the first candle that stopped making lower highs, so it could still do a second leg. I don't know, I have a lot of conflicting signals, conflicting thoughts. I mean, if you want to keep it, if I was keeping it, you know, stupid simple, I would just, you know, if I was trading on like minis or something, or a different product on the 5-minute chart, I would have longed that failed breakout just right there. Stop under here, longed failed breakout, looking for extension new high. It would have been that simple. That would be how I would trade this. But there's other factors at play for me in this market at this time. I might just walk away. Getting pretty close to that time for me. There's enough mixed thoughts that I'm like, you know, why risk the capital on something that I'm not like, hell yeah, I want this on. Kind of how I'm feeling about it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just sit on my hands. Because now we're pulling back after we created a double top, so I can't read it as a second leg pullback to get in off because it double topped to the tick. Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. Have a good day. Thanks for being here too. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, let's see, this is the muscle right here, the patience and discipline muscle that for a long time I didn't have, and I've been like literally only trying to focus on that more than anything. Being able to just be like, oh, this isn't AAA, this isn't exactly what I want, don't do it, just wait, because there will be one that will come that I do really want, and I can't be emotionally compromised by that time or financially compromised by that time. Trying to defeat that cycle that I've been stuck in for a long time. But yeah, have a good day, man. Take care. I'm gonna do my review here for the journal. We had a beauty gap up this morning. It was like 50 points. We knew that on the daily chart, we were opening at pretty like a really nice looking reversal pattern had happened on the daily down here. We had our nice final push, our inside bar, check below, and then we went all the way back up and broke above those candles. So the market was definitely in reverse mode big time. And we had a nice strong push this morning there was no real opportunity that I was able to get in through here until here. This was the first opportunity, and it did present as a high one opportunity. The reason I didn't take this trade is because at the current time, I was very much really looking for that moving average touch. That would the two-legged pullback to the moving average touch was really what I was trying to hold out for here, and it didn't give it to me. And thinking about it after the fact, the market was very, very aggressive, very bullish. There was going to be huge demand that first pullback, and it didn't give like a real strong topping pattern up here or anything to watch out for on that high one. We did have multiple candles in a row that made higher highs and higher lows, so our prerequisite was there and everything. But didn't pull the trigger on this one. But if you were to systemize it robotically, the trigger was there, the prerequisite was there, all rules followed, within risk tolerance. We had 2 inside candles, and then it went up. We didn't dip below first, which is kind of another thing that I was watching for. But so you would have been in at 75. Stop out was 72, 75, so just over 2 points, and almost could have 2 contract that one. If I wouldn't have used a 2-point stop, I could have 2 contract stopped that one, but I would have had to, so it would have been like basically 1 tick too much. Market pushed up. We would have held this for extension, and then pretty much as soon as this candle would have closed like that, I would have had to adjust my risk up so that in case it failed and came back, it would have tagged me out. I wouldn't have wanted to be involved in a failed breakout, but it would not have tagged the trailed stop. It never actually triggered the trade and kept going. So we would have been able to get a lot more. We would have got a full 2 to 1 and then some out of this trade. It was a really, really good trade. The trade that we did take next was we were watching for potential mean reversion setup here, not looking for a full reversal. We were just looking for a push back to the moving average for us to actually get long off of. So when price action started to happen through here, I didn't really care for how this stuff was setting up, but we knew that there was starting to be imbalance based off what we were seeing. So when it came up and tried again, we 1 tick poked, we closed in as a doji, no trigger though, but I ended up hitting the bid right there because I was really convinced, and it looked really good that second attempt, if it did a 1 tick poke and closed back in, I was getting short. Like that was what I was going for. So we hit the ask, and the market actually did come up and go 1 tick higher and then roll over. So my 2 tick stop loss did save this trade 100%. And if I'm being completely honest, the other way to have traded this, so that what really could have happened is when that 1 tick upped like that and came down, shorted underneath that last candle. But it would have given me a much different entry than what I got. So it was a good read of the price action and the stop. The way that it worked out, that worked in my favor as well. So it was good, I feel. Now I took profits on extension down because we knew the market was extremely bullish, and this is going to be the first pullback on the 5-minute chart. So we should likely, be ready to get long, not be holding this short for very long. I think it only 1 ticked originally when I got out. Yeah, and I ended up just joining the ask and getting out basically at the low of that candle, which, I like it. But at the same time, this trade setup that I did take technically is a reversal trade, so I should be holding for 2 legs. So our first leg down, we get our pullback, second leg down, trail the stop to the first one, would have ended up getting me out a break even, and then on the second leg down, would have taken it on extension. So could have got a couple more points out of the trade, but because of the context of the day being so bullish, I was just like, I'm just going to lock in what I got real quick in case it just does a quick trap and straight back up. But generally, the reversal trade, hold for 2 legs. So some good and some bad out of this one. This guy right here was the trade that we were waiting for pretty much this whole move, but it didn't quite happen the way I wanted to see. We ended up getting a very large buy-up candle, which, you know, basically a 2-bar, but it was big, didn't start at the very low, didn't go above the high. You know, like looking at it, yes, it is pretty bullish 2-bar, but it just wasn't perfect the way that I would want to see it. The location was perfect, the context was perfect, but, you know, maybe I was just a little bit too conservative on this one, because I even said, you know, like the way that I would have to trade this because of how big this bar is I would limit order in probably like right at the moving average, and it came literally right to it and then went. So in my thesis on the go, I was correct on how I should do it, but I don't really have that in the system yet. So I'm like making note of it again in case, you know, I start to make this adjustment. But ideally what would have happened for me here is this extension down wouldn't have gone quite as far as it did, and then maybe we got a 2-bar, or maybe we got a hammer candle, or, you know, something like that, and that would have allowed me to then buy above it. And then saying that, maybe this reaction was even stronger though. Like this was telling me it was even stronger. The demand, the second that candle switched over to the new candle, it was at its very low. It didn't go one tick down. They bought it the whole time, and they closed it at the high. They rejected that low like very quickly. So I feel like, you know, I should have gotten long through here for context and like how everything played out. It absolutely made sense to be long here, but presentation wise on how I use a signal trigger setup, it didn't give that, and it actually didn't even fire until like 5 candles later or 4 candles later, which is against my rule as well. It needs to fire within the first 2 candles. So there was multiple things that kind of prevented me from getting into this trade, even though I was like staring at it at the time. I was like, this is phenomenal. Like this, I want to be long, but I didn't, and I practiced discipline, and I didn't FOMO into that long, because really it was, I was fearful I was gonna miss a good trade. But did it actually follow my trading plan right then and there? No. So no trade. So a really good job at doing that, but I think that needs to be tweaked a little bit, because that is the setup. My AAA setup is the 2-legged pullback to the moving average in an aggressive moving market. That's that right there, and it played out beautifully. We got another nice big move out of it. And in trailing the stop, right, you're going to be looking for extension, and we actually extended with a nice push. So I would have wanted to hold the trade even longer, removing risk on the way. Stop would have came up to this swing point, came up, we pulled back down to test these tops, got immediately bought up again, would have trailed the stop to here, and then I probably would have taken it on this push somewhere, or as soon as this candle would have started to go red, I would have ditched that trade. I wouldn't have held it, even though that stop wouldn't have got tagged. We could have gone further. This would have triggered me to ditch the trade. But that's a really good trade, right? That was like 8-9 points, depending on where I exited. 10 points, you know, phenomenal trade. So, you know, it was good. A good day today. Good management, good discipline. Yeah, all in all, it was really good. Looking at this now, right, this is what I was afraid of. Like, now we're all the way back down testing the low. We did get that 1 tick poke below that flag and then pushed the other side. But looking at this market, could just be a 2-legged pullback, right? And we're going to finally get our moving average touch on the 5-minute chart here. It could happen that way, or it could hold this low. But there was too many mixed signals through here and mixed thoughts of what was going to happen, so I didn't really trade any of this. Could see this though, a quick test below, accumulate on this moving average or reject it quickly, and then we have a two-legged pullback to the moving average for another push up maybe. But it's 1 o'clock now. This is going to be my cutoff. Technically 3 setups that I wanted, and only ended up triggering 1, but the patience for waiting for the proper setup paid out again well today, right? We had a good trade setup, good trade setup, good trade setup. So just, you know, it's all I got to do. Just be patient for the ones that you actually want, and then take them and manage them properly. And I mean, that's all I need, right? I don't need to do it any other way. Be patient for those couple. And like, I mean, out of those 3 trade setups today, could have closed out a really, really good, strong green day. That's all it would have taken. So again, you know, proving again that if I wait for the right setups and just take it systematically, good, great. So yeah, we'll be back at it again first thing tomorrow morning.